Hello, what's going on, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I know a load of you are waiting around for the RTG episodes, and now it's going to be, what, 2 days without one? So I want to apologize, but I did say that we're waiting for Friday, which is today, for the promo to start, the market to crash, so we can go and pick up some players for discounted prices. So first things first, World Cup swaps. There are 50 tokens made available. So as you're watching this video right now, you might see a combination of what you believe is the best. You can put it in the comment section and give advice, because I'm not going to sit here and say what you should definitely take, because everything comes down to personal preference. But what we will do is go through most of the cards, and I'll let you know which players that are probably the more competitive or the ones that you can use from now until the end of the game. But with this World Cup themed, I didn't believe it was going to be as good as it is, because usually with like icon swaps, you just instantly go for the fodder packs because the players themselves aren't worth grinding for. And with Patrick Vieira, I mean, he stands out. You know, that is an actual in-game card, like way too good for icon swaps. But we're always asking for this from EA. Give us something worth grinding for. And now they have. The options are just, there's so much to like go for. Even the 15 player tokens. But before we skip ahead, let's go back to the start. Like 2 tokens, most of these players, unless you're generally just fans of the cards themselves, or you want to support the nations, that's fair enough. And usually as well, what happens is that you go for a certain setup at the bottom, like using your 20 tokens here, 8 tokens there, and you might have a couple left over, and that's fine. But these players, like, you're not necessarily going to go and pick up these cards to like build a team around. It just doesn't really make sense. You want to use icon swaps or World Cup swaps as an opportunity to pick up a really good player that you're going to use from now until, well, the end of the game. So those 2 swap token players, not really interested in. I wouldn't recommend any of those, to be honest. But 3, it gets a little bit more interesting because you have the 20 times 82. But for this year, I don't know if you've noticed, but when you open like ultimate packs, 100k packs, you don't tend to see too many like 85s and 86 cards. And that worries me for just, you know, spending my coins on even like the 20 times 84 plus. You might just get screwed. But let's hope, fingers crossed, that EA are a little bit more generous with the drop rate. But Ado, Cannon, like, these cards, like, you're probably better off going for DeAndre Yedlin that's available from the objectives instead of wasting 3 tokens on him. And, you know, the left back, the center back, there are just far better options on the game. So if you're going to use your 3 tokens, I maybe recommend going for the fodder pack, but that's like worst case scenario. I wouldn't even waste it on that for now. 4 tokens, it gets a little bit more interesting. I do like the look of the Bundesliga center mid, Lee Jae-sung, with the dribbling, a little bit of speed as well, just to play sort of maybe similar to like a Benassa, but a Bundesliga version of him, that you can control the play, you can push on, maybe get some goals. So I don't actually mind him as an option if you really know that you can link him up for chemistry. I do love Vinner though. This card, like Uruguayan, so he can get some very good chemistry to a Valverde card eventually, or even now, like he's got a fantastic, what is it, Road to the Knockout version? And you know how well he's playing IRL, he's probably going to be receiving at least like 2 more special boosts until like this inevitable team of the season card. But even Roma themselves, like it's a popular club, so they get some special cards. So I really like him. He can play left wing back, he can play left back, he looks sick. And even the Polish right back from the Serie A, with his speed, if you can make him lengthy, he's going to remind me maybe of the Frank, I call him Frank, but it's like, I think his name is like Frankowski from the Liga 1. He's fantastic. He's only 5'9", but lengthy in game and really does work hard. So that could be a nice little setup there. And Munir, I mean, he shares the same shooting as some of the level 15 tokens. So yeah, if you can see past like the dribbling a little bit, he's not a terrible option. But I think those are the best cards. Munir, Vinner, you've got Lee Jae-sung, and yeah, I guess the Polish right back from this area. The rest of them, even Diatta, not interested in. There's so many other like wingers that are generic like that with a bit of speed. You need more quality now at this stage in the game. And for 5 tokens, you've got Kramaric. For years ago, I'd always see myself using him at the start of the game. He's slow, but his finishing was just wonderful. Finesse shot trait outside the foot. He had that finish. But I just don't think that he's going to work like that well on the game and like for FIFA 23. So I wouldn't like definitely recommend him, but he might work. And then Cuadrado with that kind of defending, and he's in the La Liga, Mexican as well. And then with what's been rumored to come out, which is Lozano, you know, some Mexican chemistry there. He doesn't look too bad, but I personally wouldn't spend 5 tokens on a Cuadrado. 6 tokens, however, you've got Kostic from the Serie A, and this man looks like a perfect left wing back. left mid, like a defensive left mid. You could even play him like as like a left center mid. So I could see some people getting use out of him, but for like a specific build, he's a little bit more awkward to get in. Like, would you really run him as a winger when you've got the option of like a Kingsley Coman or an Ousmane Dembele? Probably not. Well, I wouldn't recommend that. But for 8 tokens, this starts getting serious. That Danilo Pereira is probably one of the better ones to take. He gets the perfect link to Renato Sanchez. So you've got the same league, same nation. Then Portuguese anyway is good. PSG is fantastic. And then his card looks like the cheap Patrick Vieira. And this is why, like, should I take some fodder packs and then Danilo Pereira and maybe like a Kingsley Coman for the RTG? Or am I going to go for Patrick Vieira and the 20 times 84 from 10? There's so many options right now, but I really like the look of him. And Morata, if you can make this guy lengthy, that's a fantastic card, especially with the speed and the shooting. You know, a lot of people joke about his missing and that, but that card looks fantastic to play on FIFA 23. Christensen as well isn't a bad one because of the chemistry that you can get to Kessie and all the other Barcelona players. Nathan Ake might work very well in game, but I'm not really super set on like the small center backs. It's one of those that I think we'll have to wait for a couple of people to test him or do some reviews on. Like, I don't want to waste all my tokens and not know he's good. No, you know what I could do is use my other account for that specifically. Go and pick up the players that we're not 100% sure about. I might actually do that. I might do like a double grind. Correa could be good, but his cards on FIFA are never really like top tier. So that does put me off. And Brand as well there with his 88 dribbling. I mean, he does look good, and he's German as well. How many like amazing German players are there on the game? I mean, Havertz received a special card. There's not like a ton of options. So Brand, I do like the look of. Mason Mount for 10. Any of you boys going to be doing Mason Mount? I mean, Cam, yeah, he does look like he could work there. I would personally play him in like the KDB role. So in a 4-3-2-1 or a 4-1-2-1-2 as the wide center mid, like pushing on and trying to chip in with some goals and help the attack. And at 20 times 84, I can see a lot of people combining that with Patrick Vieira. But let's go to the 15 tokens because these players, I absolutely love the look of. Now, Fabinho has better dribbling, or slightly better dribbling than Patrick Vieira. He's got better passing. His defending is, well, technically better, but then with the icon fill, okay, that's an argument there. But the physicality is pretty much the same, the shooting, and he's lost a little bit of pace. But if he's still lengthy, which I'm pretty sure he is, you know, that's a quality card that gets chemistry to Virgil van Dijk and any other Liverpool players that you might want to go for, as well as he's Brazilian and can link up to Bruno Guimaraes. So that's why Fabinho for me is someone that I really have on the radar. And Kingsley Coman, I loved his other version. Kingsley is so good. And then with the chemistry to, let's say, like an Nkunku Path to Glory card, once he comes down in price or even after the World Cup itself, Kingsley Coman for me, I think would work like unbelievably well. And he's got the 5-star skills. He's just going to be a very good card. And Eden Hazard, it was wrong for me to judge him so early in the game because, of course, his regular version isn't great, but I think I had him on explosive. So with that being said, like someone who has, well, he's just slow. He's just generally slow and explosive. You know, it's not a really good running style to combine with, like, what was his pace? Like 82, 83. So Eden, I'd like to try again. I just love Eden Hazard, you know, and Real Madrid to link up with Maferla Mendy or any other players. Come on. It's a really nice one. So those level 15 cards or 15 tokens, I like every single one. And if there was an option to take all 3, well, there is. Technically, there is. I could. But am I going to do that? I don't know. Not yet anyway. Not yet. But for 20 tokens, you're getting a 1 of 5 Path to Glory. So this is a little bit of a gamble. Like, are you really going to want to waste your time and hope that you pack someone that is just that good? Depends how many Path to Glory cards they release. We'll go over those in a second. I do have, like, the lineup. But I don't know if they're going to release more. So 1 of 5 Path to Glory is a risk, but those cards have a potential of getting boosted. And then 3 times 20 times 84. Literally 3 times. 60 cards you're getting, 84 plus. That's unbelievable for 20 tokens. And that's what's also interesting me. But for 25, you're getting a 1 of 4 World Cup hero. So all those new cards that are coming out, Vola, Diego Forlan, that I want to pick up. That just is a fun pack to open. But once again, it's a bit of a gamble. And with what else is available, like Kingsley Coman and Patrick Vieira, do you really want to risk getting absolutely nothing? It's a tough decision. It really is. But for 30 tokens, I think Cafu's going to be a great one for a lot of people that are just a fan of him. And that dynamic image always goes hard. Like, it's such a good card and really good looking. But 35 tokens, you get one of 3 World Cup icon. So are they going to start releasing a few more? They must be, right? Or is that 35 tokens? Yeah, no, it says 1 of 3. I thought they were going to be putting like Vieira in there with Cafu and it would like auto-generate which one you're going to get. But 1 of 3 World Cup icons, so that tells me that more icons are going to be made available on the game. So that's interesting. That could be like such a fun pack to open. And then obviously 40 tokens, you get Patrick Vieira. So the combination that I'm thinking personally is going for like Kingsley Coman and Fabinho for 30 tokens. And then the other 20, I might take maybe the 20 times 84 plus. So I'll have like 3 fodder packs to be able to do SBCs with. And then have like 2 very good cards for my team. Just because it will help the RTG. Instead of just fully sending for Patrick Vieira, I've got like 2 great cards to help my squad. And already I have in mind to bring in like Bruno Guimaraes. So that sort of takes up my CDM position. As good as Patrick Vieira is, I've got plans as to what I want to do. But then if I go ahead with like the Fabinho, Kingsley Coman, I won't be able to bring in Danilo Pereira, who's probably going to play better than Fabinho in game. And he also has like really nice chemistry. So yeah, we could do a setup of like Danilo Pereira, Kingsley Coman, and then the fodder packs, potentially. Oh man, there's so many options. I really like the World Cup swaps. Like, these are just unbelievable. But then I also would like to get my hands on like a 1 of 4 World Cup hero as one of those player picks. It's a tough one. Tough decision.